So you want to know what's going on with Tory's latest new attorney. And what I'm going to tell you is this is the first real good move he's made over the course of this trial. Aloha, my name is Marcus Lansberg. I thought we were done with the Tory Lanez case, but this is the case where new things happen seemingly on a daily basis. It's a lot going on. Yesterday they went to court and there was a new attorney subbed in. Because of the failure of the last motion of Matthew Barhoma, it looks as though Tory Lanez has gone cold on liking Mr. Barhoma, who was previously sold as the next greatest thing as far as appeals issues go. They didn't like the strategy he used. He kept Jose Baez, who is the attorney out of Miami who's won some huge high-profile cases. But I guess the attorney on the ground, the one in California, they want a different attorney. They want a different strategy going on. Now, the end result is they have a person, I have his name here somewhere, but he's someone who has a lot of experience, ex-DA. But to me, the most important thing about that attorney is that he didn't immediately go to the press and make any kind of statement. It sounds as though the most positive thing about this last attorney is he's not looking for fame off Tory Lanez's case. And that, to me, puts him head and shoulders ahead of many of the attorneys who have touched this case, both on and off the field, both in and outside the courtroom as far as this goes. Let's talk about the weird case of Rhonda Dixon, who my heart goes out to, because I have a prediction that I know exactly what happens. Now, obviously, I don't have any inside information, but having been an attorney for 17 years, having been a criminal defense attorney in this situation, what ends up happening is when somebody is in custody and they can't get their lawyer to answer the phone, and then they can't get their lawyer of choice to answer the phone, what ends up happening is they're looking for any lawyer who will come talk to them. And in a case like this, a case with someone like Tory Lanez, which is a high-profile case, and someone they know has paid out a lot of money to a lot of attorneys and may pay out to the next one, when the fellow person, when your cellmate or when someone in the cell block with you, or just somebody who answers the phone is able to come visit you, you go for that, and you want that, and you want them to show up, and you want them to be there. I believe my prediction as to what happened is she was the one who was willing to drive down to cell block and actually see him, drive down to county and actually see him, meet with him, talk to him about what's going on. Now, does she have any news for him? Does she have anything else to tell him? Anything that's new that he didn't already know? Maybe, maybe not. But was she there to sort of talk with him, metaphorically hold his hand, things of that nature? A lot of times when you're in custody, especially when you're told you're getting a lot of jail time, when originally you were told you were not, that's all they need, and that's all the person wants. So that's what he wanted at that point in time. Now, I have been a part of situations like this. I've been where I've been hired for a lot of money because I was the one who answered the phone at 11 o'clock at night, or I was the one who was willing to drive down to jail at 5 p.m. And then when you show up in court the next day, all of a sudden you're surprised by the next attorney who maybe has a higher profile, or maybe charges 5 times as much, and they say, oh no, I'm actually doing this case, there's a misunderstanding, sorry I didn't call you about this. So this is not completely uncommon. What is uncommon, of course, is the type of comments she made to the press. The fact that she went in on the prior attorney is probably not something she should have said. The fact that if those are real statements, I have no reason to believe they're not, but if they are, it's probably not something she should have said. She probably shouldn't have attacked Jose Baez. The fact that they said that it's been reported that she called Mr. Baez and sort of called him out, I think is the phrase they used. It might not be exactly right. These sort of things don't endear you to either the old attorney, the new attorney, or the client, and it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't move it forward in any way. The only thing that does is potentially raise your profile, because if you tell the press that kind of thing, that's the type of thing you're going to tell them, the only thing it does is sort of let them know that that's what's going to be in the news article about you. And quite frankly, you don't want the articles about your client to be about you, and especially not about a fight between you and the other attorneys. That's the last thing you want. So my heart goes out to Rhonda Dixon, but I do think Tory Lanez may have made the best choice he's made so far. It sounds like he's got someone with well over 10 years of experience who does exactly this type of thing. I'm not sure what their track record on victory or loss is. I haven't seen that yet. Now, at this case, what you need is someone who gets on with the judge, who the judge will listen to, and the judge will respond to. The very contentious nature which Barhoma was engaging in with this judge previous to sentencing, maybe it is the right time to change horses. Now, what does it mean when a defendant has, at this point, is this the fifth or sixth attorney, whether you're counting Miss Dixon or not, in a particular case? That does send a message. A judge will know, if you can't get on with your attorneys, that what you're doing is probably being... The judge will know, if you can't get on with your attorneys, that it may be a you problem and not a them problem. At the point you get to your fifth or sixth attorney, the question is are the attorneys not, are they doing the wrong thing, or are you not listening to what they're saying? In this case, it's an especially blatant as to what's going on, because under Barhoma, what Tory Lanez did is he gave up part of his Fifth Amendment right in his communications with Sean Hawley. And when he gave his communication with her, it said, I'm telling you not to go with the Kelsey defense. I'm not comfortable with doing that. I don't think it's going to be victorious. So we already know he's being told things by his attorneys which he doesn't believe, so then he switches attorneys midstream, if that makes sense. And since he's doing that, what we then know subsequently, the fear is that it's not sinking through that he's currently in a process where he has to go with the court system. And what happens is, if you fight against the current will sweep you away. You got to figure out how to go with the current until it's time to get out of it. What we want to do in a criminal defense case, especially in sentencing, but through the trial, through the whole thing, as a defense, is to focus on the weakest point of the other case. What ends up happening is, if you fight the entire case, if you fight every piece of it, it looks as though you don't actually have a defense. It looks as though you're flailing in the water, like you're fighting the quicksand to get away, instead of focusing on the one point where the case is the weakest, and then you destroy the weakest link, and that breaks the entire chain. So because of all those things, I would just suggest to you guys, what was that? I would just suggest to you guys, this is maybe the first positive choice he's made as far as this new attorney who's taking the case full speed at the state level. It sounds like they're going to have a different attorney handle the appeal. And I think that's a smart move, because the problem is, when Barhoma's going full speed at the judge being unfair, if he's then going to be the sentencing attorney, the judges can do it. They can bifurcate, but they're still human beings. And it's not always the easiest thing to do. So what the judges then do it is going, you're the one who just said I'm completely unfair. I don't listen to you. I don't do any of these things. But now you want me to listen to what you're saying, right? By doing this, you're going to have one attorney whose job is to, quote unquote, be the nice guy, maybe the good cop. He's the one who's going to say the nice things about Tory, why he shouldn't get the long sentence, why, judge, this is how you're going to be so fair to us and do these things. And then you have another attorney later who's going to be able to file an appeal. And that attorney can be the one to say everything's unfair. Here's where the judge broke the rules. But just intellectually, I'm not saying but tactically, intellectually, and the judge will not have to look negatively, naturally, at this particular attorney to do it. So for all those reasons, I would suggest to you that I think this is a good move. But he's got to stop with the attorneys. This is, you're sending a message when you have this many attorneys, and it's a message you don't want to send, quite frankly. You want to choose the right attorney who's right for you at the very beginning, and you have to be able to trust them. You have to be able to trust what they're going to do. Now, sometimes you got to change, you do. But if you can avoid it as much as possible. All right, thank you guys very much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you tuning in, always.